Hello and welcome. This is the Senior Estate Concierge Show, and I'm Marian LaSalle. And today I have with me Allan Berger. Let's say hello. Hi, Allan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm just doing wonderful today. It's a beautiful day for this particular topic that we're going to be talking about. I absolutely am in love with the Senior Estate Concierge. What can you tell us about it that you know? I know you have some experience.
Well, I joined it approximately 2.5 years ago. And what has impressed me is that every member has the same interest at heart, and that is to help seniors. Each particular member has their own specialty, whether it's insurance, Medicare, reverse mortgages, helping with packing, but there is a compassion and understanding. And a lot of the people that are in the membership have personal experience with their parents, with their aunts and uncles. And so they're not just helping seniors, they understand from experience. And what I like immensely is the fact that we don't have people that are pest cleaners or carpenters or handymen who basically are networking. This isn't really networking as much as knowing who can you refer to with confidence that is going to make you look good and is going to help the seniors. And I'm thrilled to tell you that I have used the services myself as a senior. And so not only am I helping seniors, but the group has helped me, including last week. And I've got somebody who had come last week, and he's got 4 big projects to do for me. So I'm both a helper and one being helped. It's a very unique group, very much needed, and wonderful people.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much, Allan. I have found the same thing. I was a witness to the services that are being able to be provided to the seniors. So I have a friend who fell, and she didn't have any way to contact anyone. She was on the floor, and it wasn't until a friend came by and found her on the floor. She had been there for over 12 hours. So she went into the hospital, had broken bones, broken bones, and she had to go into rehab. And when she came out, she had no services. She didn't know what to do. They didn't really help her. It was during COVID. No one could visit her. It was a mess. And all I did was call one person in the group, and they made sure she had everything she needed. She got meals delivered to her. She had physical therapy people coming to visit her. She had home health coming to visit her. All from one call to someone in the Senior Estate Concierge. And then they called to make sure that everything was going okay and checked up on us later. I'm thrilled. The Senior Estate Concierge is much needed service, and it covers so many different areas that a senior might need. Some of the things that they do, Allan, can you tell us a little bit about the services that are provided through this group?
As I've met different members, some have come as guests and stayed on to become full members. Others, for whatever reason, have not joined the group. But when I look at the cross section of services that are being offered, there's almost nothing omitted that a senior will need. It could be helping packing if you're going to be moving to assisted living.
That's big.
People they don't even know how to pack. So there's a particular lady in there who handles that. Somebody else handles Medicare questions. Some help estate planning. Some are estate lawyers. There are people that are involved in just being handymen, who say, okay, there are seniors don't want to get on a ladder to change a light bulb or whatever. So as you look at the various needs that a senior may have, some of which they used to be able to do and have a hard time recognizing the fact that they can no longer do this. There is an ability to get done what they used to do by somebody else that can be trusted and will do the job at a reasonable cost to them. In some cases, it's like a meal on wheels. In some cases, it's companionship. In some cases, driving them to a doctor. Whatever it is that senior needs, they basically should be able to find a member that can provide that service for them with peace of mind and a smile on their face.
There you go. So all you have to do if you're in need of any kind of services that a senior can think of, all you have to do is go to the Senior Estate Concierge website, which is seniorestateconcierge.com. And all the links that we're going to be talking about today are down in the chat room, down below the video. And so feel free to reach out and make comments or ask questions. Today, our topic is reverse mortgage. And so I want to get straight into that because I know, Allan, so many people they misunderstand that word and they're afraid of it. And so I'm really glad that you're here today to set the record straight. What is it? What is it going to do for us? Should we be afraid? You know, are there things in there that we need to watch out for? And all the good information that you have for us today. So thank you for being on today. Let's get right into it.
It's a terrible name because some people don't like the word mortgage, because especially if the house is paid for, and reverse means going backwards. But forget the name. A reverse mortgage is a legal contract where a 62-year or older senior homeowner who has enough equity in their home can convert a portion of that equity into available cash in an easily accessible savings fund to be used without any repayment requirements while the homeowner continues to live in his or her home and continues to meet a few basic requirements.
Wow, that tells us a lot. Okay, so a way for seniors to remain in their homes and financially independent. So does that mean you have to be 65 in order for this to happen?
No, the youngest of who lives in the home has to be at least 62 years of age or older.
Okay.
So you could be 80, 90. There's someone I know is 108.
Okay.
But basically, the senior is for a reverse mortgage has to be at least 62 years of age or older, and they have to have equity in their home. That's
a good question. Okay.
Sufficient for
so that's why the reverse. Okay, I get it. So they can use their home as a source of cash. What does that mean?
Well, what that means is that if they have equity, then a portion of that equity can be converted to cash. When you have a home and you have equity, it's non-liquid unless you sell your house. Selling your house doesn't solve any problem because you got to live somewhere. So you may have bought a house for, say, $100,000. Your house might be worth $300,000 now, but you're living on Social Security or minimum revenue from pension or whatever. And so the value of your equity is useless to you until you sell your home. A reverse mortgage allows you to take that equity and convert a portion of it to cash in a savings account that you can then use if you need it, as long as you live in that home. And even when you use up all the money from the equity, because of the way a reverse mortgage is set up, you could continue to live in your home as long as you pay your taxes and you pay your home insurance and you basically keep your home up. So you may have used up all your reverse mortgage money, but you can still live in your house. And the question is, how come? Because actuary tables felt that you were going to die. you have outlived the actuary tables. So guess what? You've used up all your reverse mortgage money, but you can still live in your house and make no payments, and no one's going to have you leave your home. Just meet the obligation of paying your taxes and your insurance and upkeep, and stay there as long as you want. No one's going to bother you.
You know, that's truly wonderful news. Thank you for bringing that to us. I can't even tell you. I wanted to know more about this, and I can't be the only one, but I was afraid to ask. I didn't really understand. So one of the reasons why I was afraid to ask is, guess what? I think reverse mortgages have a black eye. And why is that, Allan?
It's true. It's a well-earned black eye that has changed. During the era of the real estate bubble, homeowners were given reverse mortgages with a cash equivalent to a portion of their home equity that they used like a credit card. So when the time came to pay their homeowners insurance, to pay their real estate taxes, they didn't have any money. They used up all the money. Maybe they bought a BMW, maybe they went on a vacation, but they thought that the home equity from the reverse mortgage was like a credit card, and they were not financially responsible as they should have been. As a result, when they didn't pay their taxes and they didn't have house insurance, the house was repossessed. They blamed the reverse mortgage for having lost their house. In reality, independent of a reverse mortgage, if you don't pay your taxes and insurance, you're going to lose your home. It's going to be repossessed. So that gave the reverse mortgage industry a bad name up until about 2017, at which time the federal government changed the regulations and rules and made it much more difficult for people to get a reverse mortgage, but much more difficult for the people that never should have gotten it in the first place. The people that always were good students, good citizens, continue to get reverse mortgages. My wife and I have a reverse mortgage. We pay our taxes, we pay our insurance. We don't buy BMWs, we don't spend we bought it as part of our retirement plan, a lifeline, so that in case we have a need, but we don't know how long we're going to live, we now have converted some of our home equity into a savings account that we haven't even touched for 3 years, but we have such peace of mind of knowing that it's working for us. The people that lost their homes did not realize what the reverse mortgage was, and they used it incorrectly.
Well, that was my next question. You know, what is the most common reason for people to get a reverse mortgage? It sounds like to me you didn't need it. You knew the benefits and were able to do that.
I would say that the main reason, the most compelling reason, is that the first thing that happens with a reverse mortgage is if you have a mortgage, that mortgage is paid for out of the equity of your home.
Wow.
That means that if you're paying monthly payments right now, no matter what it is, whether you've got a $300,000 home or $500,000, $800,000 home, you're paying monthly payments, principal, interest, taxes, insurance, so on and so forth. If you have enough equity from having paid down your mortgage, then whatever you owe is paid out of the reverse mortgage right at the beginning, so that you no longer have mortgage payments of principal and interest, and you own your home now outright. Now, changes your cash position tremendously, because maybe principal and interest are $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. What could you do with that money if you no longer have to pay it? And that is the main reason a lot of people like the reverse mortgage. They not only want to own their home, but they have another need for that money. And all of a sudden, it's like a pay raise. Oh my God, I now have $1,400 a month to spend that I never had before because I've been paying for my house. So I would say that's the main reason.
This is amazing, because I need some home improvements. So you mean I could get a reverse mortgage and improve my home so that I could live here without. Oh my goodness, this is blowing my mind, Allan. I'm so happy you're telling us this. So we're not restricted in how we use that money. We can pay for a vacation.
Yes. There's two things to look at on reverse mortgage. One is, what do you really want to pay off so that you free up capital? So independent of
Right.
paying off the mortgage, you may want to pay off a home improvement loan. You may want to pay off an
Right.
automobile loan.
What about your credit cards?
Well, your credit cards, you have medical obligations, okay, those are all obligations you want to get out of the way. But on the other side of the coin, maybe you've got some home improvements you want to do. Maybe you want to
Yes.
go on a vacation.
Look at that.
Maybe you want to help your children or grandchildren with some college expenses. Maybe you've got some elective surgeries and dental procedures that you want to pay for. Or
Yes.
maybe you need a supplement to your Social Security and other income because you're finding every month you're running really tight on money. That means that with a reverse mortgage, you have availability to tap in as needed what you need to get through. It may not be every month, but all of a sudden you may have a roof repair that needs to be done or automobile repair that has to be done. You can pay for that out of your equity, which is your reverse mortgage, and not have to worry about, how do I pay for this?
So which socioeconomic levels can benefit the best from a reverse mortgage?
Well, if we look at Texas and we look at major cities with homes ranging from $300,000 to $800,000, it turns out that the benefits for all these homeowners are the same. It's not important what the house is worth.
Oh,
Everybody has the same need. Whether you're paying off credit cards, living in a $300,000 home or an $800,000 home, you're paying off credit cards. If you want to do a home modification, you may want to do something in a $300,000 home, like just upgrade a bathroom. In an $800,000 home, you may want to take the kitchen down to the studs. So the value of the home has no bearing on social, looking at it from a social economic level. The
I'm
question
glad to hear
really
that.
is, okay, how can you best use the available cash to take care of your personal need?
Allan, we have a question from the audience. I hope that this is an appropriate time to ask this question. I really, really like it. What happens if your home continues to appraise as a higher value in the future? Will you still have access to that increased amount?
You can, under the right circumstances, you can get a new reverse mortgage.
Thank you, Nicole, for that question.
Okay. The right conditions are that the increase in value is sufficient to apply for a new reverse mortgage. And when you do that, remember I said early on, the first thing that a reverse mortgage does is it pays off your existing mortgage.
Right.
Well, that means that prior to the appreciation of your home, you owned your home outright. Now you want to go in, let's say you bought a house for $40,000 and now your first reverse mortgage, your house is worth $250,000. You got a reverse mortgage on a $250,000 appraised house. Now your house is worth $400,000. You could go out at $400,000 and get a new reverse mortgage, and the first thing they would do would be pay off your old reverse mortgage.
That is interesting. Thank you, Nicole, for that question. That wouldn't come up to me unless you had that happen to you. So thank you. Now, we talked a little bit about this before, Allan, but can any senior get a reverse mortgage? I know you have to be 62, but what does that mean?
Well, the answer is, to qualify for a reverse mortgage, besides being 62 years of age or older, the very first the application part is easy. Basically, you have to have a favorable credit report and a favorable payment history. That's from the application point of view. once the application is made, then it goes into due diligence with the title company. And the title company at that point starts digging in. And almost invariably, they find information that either was not given to a person such as myself, or they forgot about it, or it comes out of the woodwork. And that information has to be answered. Now, that information may be, oh, you were in bankruptcy twice. I didn't know that. Oh, you have a lien against your home. Oh, you don't have clear title to your property. Various things come up when the title company gets involved, and they have to be answered.
Okay.
Now, here's a key. A bank loves that because it gives them a reason not to give you money. The reverse mortgage industry is just the opposite. We have what's known as letters of exception. When something comes up that needs an explanation, we give the homeowner an opportunity to say why this happened. Maybe they had a heart attack, or they were late in their payments during a period of time. Oh, that's why you were late. That's okay. So we're trying to find every reason to help you get a reverse mortgage, as opposed to a bank who is risk adverse.
So you're saying the applications are simple and it's an easy process, and they want to say yes?
They want to say yes, but the title company says, well, before we say yes, we need to make sure that we have a wonderful, stellar homeowner. And so if certain things pop up that need explanation, fine. Some people have nothing to show up. They've got an unbelievably clean record. Other people, boy, I tell you what, I know why you need a reverse mortgage.
Oh, dear. Oh, I have a very, very important question, and I know this is on a lot of people's minds. Do you lose ownership of your home when you get your reverse mortgage?
The answer is no. You don't you never turn over ownership of your home. In fact, because we make sure you have no mortgage on the home. And
that's right. You said that they pay off your existing mortgage.
That's right. So you own title.
Okay.
The reverse mortgage is not touching the title of your home. You own your home. So the concern that you're going to lose your home because you have a reverse mortgage, the only way you're going to lose your home with a reverse mortgage is if you don't pay your taxes and your insurance and upkeep. And by the way, I questioned when I got my reverse mortgage, what do you mean by upkeep? Are you guys going to come back and inspect my house? They said, no, we just don't want an orange sticker from the county saying this house is condemned. We're not going to check your house and see what upkeep means. So
okay.
I'm like the Rogaine guy with hair. I've gone through this. So not only,
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone through it, and it's the best thing that my wife and I ever did, because we just have peace of mind knowing, as I mentioned before, we haven't touched it for 3 years. And we're just knowing it's there if we need it. We've got some dental bills coming up, and how are we going to pay for it? Out of the reverse mortgage.
That's amazing. Now, do you get as much as you possibly can when you get a reverse mortgage, or do you just get a reverse mortgage for what you need and then get another one when you need something else? How does that work?
Okay. Reverse mortgage the amount is based on a couple of variables. One, the older the person is, we're starting at 62. The older the person is, the more money is made available, which sounds crazy because the actuary tables are what dictates that. So a person at 62 might get 45% of the appraised value. A person that's 82 might get 60% of the appraised value. The older the person is, which means the closer they are to no longer living, more money they get in the reverse mortgage. Now,
okay.
So it's based on a percentage, and that percentage is from a table that is established by the FHA. And so what I always ask is, okay, how old are you? And once I know how old you are, I can say, this is how much you are eligible to get. Now, keep in mind, if they have a mortgage, then what they get is prior to paying off the mortgage. So if they have a home and their reverse mortgage, say, is $200,000 on a $400,000 house, and they have a $100,000 mortgage, that 100,000 is going to come out of the 200, and they'll only have 100,000 left.
I understand that. Thank you.
Now, if you have no mortgage and you've got a $200,000 reverse mortgage, it's all yours. It's there and it's growing with interest.
That is amazing.
You don't have to touch it.
I wish we had 2 hours to talk to you, Allan. I have one final question. I know the audience has lots of questions, so I'm going to give you a way for you to reach Allan at the end of the presentation. Just hold on one more slide here. My question is, how is the money that has been borrowed with a reverse mortgage paid back?
Excellent question. There are basically 3 ways that the money is paid back. One is when the last person no longer lives in the home, the absolute only obligation is to pay off the reverse mortgage. It's a non-recourse loan, which means that no family member is responsible for paying whatever has been borrowed. Even if all the money has been spent, it makes no difference. At the time the house is sold, whatever is owed from having been borrowed, keep in mind, what was borrowed was equity. It was your own money that you borrowed prior to no longer living in the house. That is subtracted from the selling price of the house. So if the house sells for $400,000 and what was owed was $200,000, then there's $200,000 left to be inherited or given to a charity. But basically, it's the net proceeds. No different than selling a house that you have a mortgage on. You got to pay off the mortgage and the net proceeds are yours. But there are 2 other options that are quite interesting. Since the only obligation is to retire the reverse mortgage, if, let's say, your home is going to a child or one of your children want your home, and let's say there's a $100,000 reverse mortgage obligation and it's a $400,000 home, that child or a cousin or whoever can go to a bank and say, I have an opportunity to inherit my parents' $400,000 home. Can I get a $100,000 mortgage on my parents' home so that I can pay off their reverse mortgage? And the bank is going to say, if you can make those payments, we have no problem giving you a $100,000 loan on a $400,000 house.
That's fantastic.
Okay, now that's a mortgage. The other difference is if for whatever reason they have $100,000 cash or they don't want to take out a mortgage, doesn't make any difference. As long as that $100,000 is paid any which way, they can own the house. So the house doesn't have to be given back to anybody. So 3 ways in review. 1, net proceeds. 2, take out a mortgage. 3, pay off the reverse mortgage. And the house is yours.
That's
wonderful. And that could be as an investment. It could be someone says,
Right.
I want to buy that house, but I don't want to live there. Fine. How would you like to buy the house? $100,000 mortgage, and you suddenly rent this house for $2,500 a month that more than pays for the mortgage. It's investment property.
Oh, so many questions are coming up, and we do have a couple other people in the audience who have questions. So I want you to be able to reach out to Allan and ask him yourself about your particular situation. He could only cover so much during this half-hour show. So be sure and contact Allan, okay? I'm going to tell you that down below these videos and on the podcast, there is a place for you to see all the links. But as I'm finishing talking to Allan, I'm going to be putting it up on the screen so that you can see it and we can talk about how to get a hold of Allan and what Allan wants to do to meet with you. Now, Allan, tell me, if somebody wants to meet you, is there any obligation?
No, my focus is to educate seniors with a possible way to stay in their homes and with access to funds so they can enjoy life as long as possible in the home. I'm not selling anything. I'm basically educating them on something they either have bad information about or know nothing about. No obligation. We can do it in Zoom. We can do it over the phone. We can do it in person. It's basically, if you know something about it, but you want to know more, ask me some questions and I'll tell you everything I can tell you. And if, as a result of what you hear, you think this is something that you or your family want to get involved with, you may have a CPA or a financial advisor, anyone. All I want to do is share the information to see if this can help you the way it's helped my wife and myself and many people. I've helped judges, I've helped lawyers, engineers, I've helped retired people. And I'm just thrilled. I've made some lifelong friendships because of how I help people. Some people have been very wealthy and they wanted the money to help their children who are in their 40s and 50s that have medical problems. It's You wonder, what do people want the money for? Everyone is different. So the first question I ask is, why do you want a reverse mortgage? So if someone calls me, and then I try and find out if I have something that I can do to help them.
Well, we've got some audience members who are saying thank you for this helpful information. This type of mortgage is misunderstood, and we need you out there explaining more about this. So, Allan, do you have any opportunity in the near future, now that COVID is kind of let loose a little bit? Do you have any places where you're going to go and do presentations, or do they contact you for a one-on-one?
Best thing is to contact me on a one-on-one, because I want to be sure I'm focusing on what their needs are.
Oh, did you hear that? That's very sweet. You're a very kind gentleman, and I appreciate you so much. I've learned a lot today, and I know there's more to learn.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and hopefully those that are listening learn something. And if you're curious to know more, it may not be for you. It may be for an uncle, an aunt, a neighbor, anybody you think that could use knowledge of this and it might help them in any which way, just let me know and I'll see if I can help.
That's wonderful. And for those of you who are just tuning in, this is a live broadcast, but you can watch the replays 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I highly recommend that you do that and you share it with your friends, because we all need to know this information. So if you could share it, I'd appreciate it. You can go to YouTube, you can go to LinkedIn, you can go to Facebook and look up Senior Estate Concierge, and you can contact us with any questions that you might have. Allan, is there any last words that you have about the Senior Estate Concierge and what it has done for the seniors in your community?
I would say that any senior that's listening today should look at the resources that are offered by the Senior Concierge and see if any of those resources can be used by themselves or other seniors they're aware of. It's kind of like it's a big secret. It's just emerging. And it was one group initially. Now we have 3 groups, and there's a 4th one about to be started. But the overall reaction from the community has been, this is a service that is long overdue.
I agree.
And so I would say that the more people that know about it and use it will spread the word.
Our founder, Bill Graff, is a wonderful, wonderful man. I'm just every time I talk to him, I'm getting more and more involved in his vision for this group. And so whether you want to join our group as a service provider for seniors, or you know a senior, or you are a senior that needs this help, please contact us. SeniorEstateConcierge.com is the best way. You can call, you can email, you can text. There's a lot of different ways to get a hold of us. Don't delay. Call us today. Yeah, we'll see you again next week.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody, for staying with us. And hopefully you find a good 30-minute investment of time.
Thank you. Bye, Allan. Thank you
Bye-bye.
for all your information.